And welcome back to another episode of the Crimson Crossover podcast presented by the Field of 68. I'm your host, Christian Sykes, joined by Charles Branch as always. And in lieu of Joey joining us, I think we got a special guest, Labaron Philon. How you doing today? Alabama guard,
I'm good.
freshman
Doing
guard.
good. Doing good.
How's been at Alabama? How's it been going? Summer workouts are finished. You just went through a boot camp. How's it been?
Overall, it's just been a fun experience. Just being able to learn from, new guys and just everybody on the team and, learn from the staff. We got, new coach, but like it's been going great. Like I think I've been doing well and, I just continue to get better every day.
So and you can confirm, you don't have to confirm or deny these reports, but I've heard some reports that you're one of the best defenders on the team. Can you confirm or deny any of those allegations?
I don't want to, put anything on me, so I'm just saying, everybody been doing their thing, but I don't want to bring no heat to the team, so I'm just keep it that.
Well, you had quite the journey to get to Tuscaloosa. You're from Mobile originally, went to Link Academy in Missouri, originally committed to Auburn, and then decommitted, flipped to Kansas, got out of your NLI, and then you find your way to Alabama. Kind of explain that journey and that year-long process, year and a half long process that you went through. And ultimately choosing Alabama.
It was a great experience. Like the recruiting process is, I think, the two schools that I did choose, they was great schools. They had good coaches, Auburn, great coaches, Coach Wes Flanagan, he was at Auburn, he was my recruiter. He was a great coach. Kansas Coach Case was, my recruiter, he was good. They had, Bill Self as their head coach, he's a great coach, like outstanding coach, and he pushed his guys. But Coach Oates, like I think he just got that edge, just make everybody go harder. He always knows something to say just to get you to play hard. So it was a great experience. Like I love the recruiting process, and it just a matter of time. So I had to take all that in while trying to play basketball at the same time. So I just we got it all together, and here I am now in Tuscaloosa. So, and it's been going very well. So, pretty sure that was a good decision for me and my family.
We agree.
Charles, you got a question about maybe playing for Tuscaloosa? Geez, playing for
Alabama. Being a guy from Mobile, since Coach Oates has gotten Alabama, he's had a lot of success with guys from the state like Kyra Lewis, Herb Jones, John Petty. Mark Sears, who you're getting to play with this year, and we're excited to see what Chris Youngblood does as well. But what does it mean to you just to be able to play for an in-state program like Alabama?
It feels like wonderful. One of the best is like I think one of the best decisions I have made because just Coach Oates, like I think he really knows what he's doing, and he got the right staff around him that like really know what they're doing. So they gonna push us to the next level and get us there. They just talk about like our culture, just here at Alabama. You gotta have great character. When things not going your way, you just gotta find another way to push yourself over the edge. But all the guys that's from Alabama that Coach Oates have coached, I think they did pretty well here, and it's a great system to be in. So that's good.
Do you feel, and you don't have to, do you feel any like pressure or an additional pressure coming from the state, to have to perform, or is maybe it makes you a little bit looser because, you are playing against or playing for like a home crowd?
No, I would say like it's natural. Like I don't get no pressure. I don't build up no anxiety about it. So like I'm just going out there to play another game, get better, practice, go hard and just do the best I can to represent the University of Alabama. So, I've been doing that well, but I feel like it's no pressure on me because, it's things are gonna go great. And like once you just trust the standard and trust what they're gonna put in place for you to do, you're gonna succeed.
So
real quick, speaking of, just playing in front of a home crowd, You know, I know at Link Academy, y'all play in a bunch of showcases, a lot of tournaments across the country. So now you do actually get to play a majority of your games in front of a home crowd instead of more neutral sites. Are you excited about that, to not have to always be on the road and have a familiar gym to play most of your games in this year?
Yeah, like, at Link Academy, we played a lot of road games. And, sometimes like my family didn't come to all of the games, but they came to, a lot of amount of games on the road. But, just playing in front of the home crowd, that's just something different. I haven't did that since like my 11th grade year of high school. So playing out in the crowd, like just everybody in. But, it's gonna be a very good, fun experience for us this year.
Speaking of the crowd, what's a game you're looking forward to the most?
Um, Really just the first game. It just feels like the season is taking a long time, but it's really creeping up on us. I think we have 2 exhibition games, and we right at it. So just ready to get it going.
So in practice, who's your favorite person to guard on the team?
You know, it's a lot of favorites. I would say I got to give credit to Cliff. He's he just dunks everything. So it's so hard to just contest what he's doing. So it's really fun.
Do you have a
Just
least favorite person, like in drills? If you're like, man, I don't want to go up against this dude.
I really don't, because I love playing defense. So I just try to, defend everybody, all 5 guys.
So, we have some funny questions. So I'm gonna ask you. Someone asked me, Flip Phillips asked me, how is your 3-point shot? And has there been any additional mechanics or anything that Alabama's brought to help you improve your shot?
Yeah, my 3-point shot has been really well, been shooting the ball good, but Alabama, they just teach you the data aspects of it, some things you never seen before, some things I never seen before I got here. And when I got here, it's changed the view of basketball, because they can track everything, every little shot and every little movement you do in your jump shot. So, just working on that, the mechanics have been great, and just learn how to have the same shot every time and just know it's going in when you get the ball in your hands.
So this is a off the wall question. Someone asked me, who has the most aura on the team?
Oh, that's good. I would say, I don't know. I might be in the top 5.
We've made a ranking in some group chats, and you're top 3 for sure. Top 3 for sure.
Yeah, I gotta be. Yeah. Let me hear the rank.
Let's see. I think you were 2. You were 1 or 2 for aura.
So who's 1?
Let me go back and find it. Let me find it real fast. I'll tell you.
While Christian's looking for it, when guys get drafted in the NBA and they're doing all the analysis, they're giving comparisons to former NBA greats, NBA players. Just thinking about guys that have been successful at Alabama, is there a certain player that you feel like your game compares to well, that would be familiar for a lot of Alabama basketball fans?
I just don't compare myself, but I do watch a lot of film, and all the guards that came here, they was really good. But I'd say one of the best was probably Colin Sexton. Watch a lot of Primo. Primo's really good. And it's all the guys is, really talented. So, and the guys in the league for a reason.
Yeah,
so
you get
mix it all together.
With that answer, I know you're getting people more excited about watching you be on the court here pretty soon. It's unique being a freshman. You're typically playing with a lot of new guys for the first time, but you and Darian were on the same AAU team back in the day, Team Thad, I think it was. How is that for you, having some familiarity with the teammate before stepping into college, and the potential of that benefiting both of y'all as you start getting closer to the season and just having that familiarity as you try to meet and gel with all your other teammates?
I'm a real good teammate, so I think a lot of guys that play with me, they like me. So, when I first started playing with Darion, I was the point guard, he was 3-man, so we really connected, built a bond, now he's like a brother to me, so I can talk to him like on the court and off the court, and like we really know what each other's going to do on the court. Like I know what places he's going to be in because I didn't play with him for such a long time, and like I know how just get my teammates going. So just whatever I got to do to make them get it going, I'm gonna do.
I have the rankings. So the Aura rankings, I'll give you the top 5. You're number 1, Grant's number 2, Reitzel's number 3, Cliff's number 4, and Sears is number 5.
I don't know about that one. That's pretty interesting list. Like,
There's
Sears at 5. Oh no.
There's another list. So these are multiple people's opinions. Grant's 1, Sears is 2.
Grant's
you're 3, Cliff's 4, and Youngblood's 5.
I mean, everybody on the team has auras. Like it's just hard to explain, but it's just different aspects. Everybody do their own thing, but you just be like, why did he do that? Feel me?
Yeah. It's funny because it's a running joke in a lot of my group chats that like they'll be like a team photo or something, and they'll point you out and they'll be like, this man has aura. I'm just like,
I'm trying to explain. If somebody see that at me, in me, or just
yeah. So looking at the non-conference schedule, is there a game that you're looking forward to? Maybe like that Players Invitational game that I think you play against Houston, or maybe going up to the I think it's Dean Smith Center, I think is what it's called, at Chapel Hill. Is there a game like that that you're looking forward to?
I think North Carolina game, because one of my high school teammates from Link Academy, he goes to UNC. It's gonna be a good game. I would say it's a lot of good games, but Houston would be, one of the best games, I think. Just how, competitive they are. So
and then last question for me, expectations on the season. There's a lot of lofty expectations, or a lot of talk about this team being arguably the most talented Alabama basketball team in history. Obviously, you're a part of it. Last year, they come off a Final Four run where they lose the eventual champions that everyone. I mean, UConn was a powerhouse last year. What are your expectations for the season? How far do you think Alabama can go this year?
Just looking into last year, what they did, they was in the game. I think most people didn't realize that like Alabama was in the game versus UConn. Just got away from them. But, Coach Oates have been doing a very good job just letting us know that, expectations can kill us because, we trying to live up what everybody wants us to do, but, we don't want to do expectations and just, focus on getting better and better every day. But, they've been, preaching to us about just staying true to ourselves, staying true to our value, our culture, just putting everything together and be as a team. Like, on the team retreat, we had some fun memories that I'm pretty sure everybody will remember. I mean, everybody will remember during season that, that trip. So that'll be good.
You got any funny stories from that trip, just as far as the activities that y'all are doing, the competitions that you're able to share with the masses?
I would say the funnest part of the trip, it wasn't an event. It was just like, I think it was the second day, 5 a.m. They come in with horns. Get up, get up. So we running, putting our stuff on. We got clothes that we wore yesterday. So everybody disgusted in the morning. They're like, yo, we don't want to do this, but they knew we had to do it. So put on our clothes. They drive us to I think they drove us to a body of water, I think 5, 6 in the morning. And, we all locked arms. So we just standing in the mud water. And then, my guy that was running the boot camp, he said, take a seat. And everybody just looked at each other like, take a seat. You don't see how dirty this water is? So we all everybody, they don't want to take a seat. So people just falling back because the person you lock arms with, he trying to sit down. And they just falling in the mud. But it was really fun, though.
So
Yeah.
I know you did that with a lot of the staff and a lot of the coaches. Which of the coaches, needs to get in the weight room more, needs to put more work in? Which coach was slacking the most out there?
I'm not gonna do my coaches like that because they wouldn't do me like that. So I'm gonna just say I'm gonna give some that go extremely hard. Coach Ben, JJ, Doug, Coach Panone, Preston, Coach Spino, Coach Adams, Coach Adams. I think Coach Adams did really good in the run at the end, the run that we had to do, and everybody else, they all work hard, but I never see them slacking. Not gonna lie, I never see them slacking.
We were talking about veteran moves before we got on. That was a veteran answer. That was a good.
I never see them slacking.
With a retreat like that, it's obviously, a lot of mental energy, physical energy. I've been really impressed with what Coach Barra has done since he got to Alabama. What have you learned from him just as far as weightlifting, conditioning, nutrition, kind of getting your body right for what should be a longer season than what you're used to? I know, you've probably been playing basketball nonstop for a decade now with AAU and summer league and stuff like that, but there's a lot more that goes into it. How has that been, just learning from him and learning some new things around that?
I think he do a great job, outstanding job at whatever he comes up with. He comes up with crazy things, but be really good for you. He send you quotes, and he gonna keep it real with you. He always gonna keep it 100, and he just gonna push you in the weight room. You gonna get stuff done. You gonna get stronger, and you just gonna build every day. You're gonna be the best after you realize what you've been putting the work in for.
So you talked about Coach Adams. Not a lot's been discussed about him just because he was hired, I think, in July. What are your thoughts on him? Obviously, I think he comes in as a defensive kind of minded coach. How's practice been with him? How have you kind of connected with him in these past couple months?
He's really cool. Sometimes he get voice just get loud, but he's really cool, really fun to be around. He's really funny. Just he try to do the best he can, just coaches up and just put us in the right positions to do great things. And I think ever since he got here, no energy has changed. Everybody accepted him in. They brought him in, and it's been going good for everybody. So that's a really good thing that people just can bring somebody in that we don't know nothing about. He was, like you just say, he was just hired. So he's really good at what he do. So that's good.
And then final question for me. I know I said this previously, but I saw you posted you got 2K. What's your my player build? What position do you like to play?
I like to play guard, I'm a guard myself, but I made a shot creating 3-level threat, point guard, 6'3", long arms, and I just made a new guy, he's 6'6", because I want to be 6'6", so.
I play 2K and I always play center. So I made a 7-foot center with 7'6" wingspan that does nothing but play defense and pass the ball. That's it. There's no shooting or anything like that.
That's crazy. You're gonna be a liability on the court.
Yeah, well, okay. Well, I was playing last night. I had 27 points and 30 rebounds. So,
What you was playing in?
the wreck.
Yeah, I just got done playing
Yeah,
red.
yeah. So maybe not that much of a liability, but a little bit of a liability on offense. But LeBaron, I appreciate you joining us. I know season's kicking up. You're in school, so I appreciate you taking the time. And we're everyone listening is looking forward to the season. Really excited to see you play. Really excited to see the team. But we really appreciate your time joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, LeBaron.
And we just want to thank LeBaron for like I said in the closing while he was leaving, just for joining us. It's his freshman year. We're recording this on a Thursday night at 7 p.m. Probably has better things to do than talk to us about Alabama basketball. But so definitely appreciate his time, and hopefully for those of you that are listening, it gets you a little bit more excited than the already excitement that I think most of us have for the basketball season this year. I do want to mention that again, this is Thursday, so we're calling it Tide Thursdays at J&J Apparel. We had Grant Nelson last week. We had Chris Youngblood today. We have I think like 3 more guys that are on the docket that'll be announced week of. Just check out my Twitter account or check out J&J's Instagram. I'm not going to mention who, but there's some big name guys that are going to be at J&J for you guys to go meet and greet and just talk to them and interact with these players that, again, like I said in the recording, a lot of people are pegging this Alabama team to be the best or the most talented Alabama team of all time. Some of the older crowd might argue with me about that, but top to bottom, I think this is a team that for the first time in a really long time has a real opportunity to compete for a national championship. So go out, support them, and hopefully we can continue to do these player interviews or coaches interviews sporadically until the season gets here. So and then we're back in full gear. But Charles, I think we have a few scheduling stuff as far as like stuff's been scheduled since our last recording. Do you want to go over, kind of what's going on or what's coming up?
Yeah, I know we've got 2 exhibitions coming up. One's in Huntsville against Memphis, against Penny, and may just be against Penny. Who knows if he's found any coaches by then to join him on the bench. But and then we've also got the exhibition in Birmingham against Wake Forest, and that one will be in Boutwell Auditorium. And talking about the game up in Huntsville first, I think that's a great opportunity for obviously people in Huntsville to go watch this team. And we've had the Rocket City Classic for several years up there at times. I really like this exhibition. I like what Coach Oates is trying to do, not just with this team, but just with the program as far as continuing to take this brand within the state and not just have all the games in Tuscaloosa. It was 2 years ago that went down to South Alabama and played a road game in Mobile. Obviously, we've had games in Birmingham for several years now. So just continuing to build that Alabama support and giving people that may not have that opportunity to come down to some of the weekday SEC games or weekday non-conference games because of that travel distance being a lot more challenging. Just a great opportunity for people in Huntsville to see the team in the Von Braun Center. And then the Wake Forest game, I think there'll only be 2,000 tickets available. If you're a person who's able to get a ticket to that game, I think that's going to be quite a unique experience, just being back in Boutwell Auditorium. I'm sure Michael Southern in the Tide Hoops history account has got can go way back on some games that Alabama has played in Boutwell Auditorium previously. An exhibition at Legacy or somewhere else would have been cool to get everybody in. But I think as that game starts coming out, there will be a lot of history in there that we as Alabama basketball fans can appreciate and kind of learn more of just where this program has been in the past and obviously where it's going in the future. I'm very excited again that it's Wake Forest, just with some personal family ties around that. and that it's an exhibition game, so it won't count, a loss won't count on either one of their records. But I know last year's game for Wake Forest also benefited, I think, the Baptist Health Hospital up there. I'm sure with this game in Birmingham, a lot of the proceeds will go to a great cause as well too. So very excited for both those opportunities with good basketball programs, and again, being in multiple locations throughout the state for people to get excited about the Alabama basketball program as we start marching towards that first game in November against UNC Asheville. And before those, I do believe we as fans will get an opportunity to see this team at least perform in some fun events, and we get to watch the Final Four banner be hung in Coleman Coliseum. I believe that is October 11th, which would be before the Friday night before the game against Missouri in Tuscaloosa. So if you're planning to be in Tuscaloosa, I would definitely carve out some time to be there to go ahead and support these guys. It'd be awesome to have a sellout crowd. I also know Friday nights, in Alabama are high school football nights, and that's going to present some challenges for people, but should be a great experience to put a cap on last year's team and celebrate last year's team, and then start focusing on this year's team and seeing the players that we have and the abilities, and getting a first look at why there is so much hype around this team going into the 2024-2025 season.
Yeah, and I believe in that event there's going to be like a 3-point contest, a dunk contest. It's kind of be kind of like tied tip-off, I believe. So you're not just going to see a banner get raised. You're going to see the guys, do dunks, and maybe there'll be, I don't know if there actually will be autographs, but maybe there'll be like autographs or things like that. I believe we might be credentialed. We, meaning Charles, might be credentialed for that. So just depends. But yeah, go ahead.
With the 3-point contest and the dunk contest, isn't it really just watching our offense play?
Yeah. Well, basically, yeah. But I know some people had raised concerns about, why isn't it on opening night of games, and I think the rationale is, I think that weekend is the weekend of the LSU game, and since LSU's away, I think that they wanted to maximize the amount of people that were in Tuscaloosa so that the most people could see it. So I think that's why they chose the Missouri game, just because I think opening weekend is that Monday after the LSU game. So I kind of like it, have it be its own separate event. And I think I'm not sure, is Yay Alabama? Yeah, Yay Alabama is doing it. And so the proceeds, the tickets that are going to that are going directly to the NIL for Alabama basketball, which I think is a good thing. I think that Yay Alabama needs to do more events like that across the state. And they did it in the summer, where they had, similar to like Tide Pride or Red Elephant Club meetings. They went to Huntsville, Mobile. I think they had one in Tuscaloosa too, with coaches, and I think they're continuing to do that. So I presume if Yay Alabama is associated with it, there's probably going to be something with autographs. So if you're not a member of Yay Alabama, be sure to join to get those additional perks. And man, I'm just excited for the season. I'm excited to get back in the swing of this. I apologize if I was stumbling over my words a little bit. We're a little out of practice with the interviewing and all of that. But we'll get back in the swing of things as far as scheduling goes. As far as our schedule is concerned, whenever Joey gets back from vacation, I think we're going to just sit down and do a segment just to go over the schedule now that it's officially released. Kind of talk about our expectations, while Labaron and the team doesn't have expectations. I think us as fans, it's reasonable to talk about those. So we'll do that, and then if we get any other players or coaches on before the season, we'll have those out sporadically. And then leading up, I think probably sometime in October, we'll probably do I don't know if we'll do a podcast or we'll do a space where we kind of just preview the SEC as a whole. maybe bring in some SEC guests to talk about their teams. That might be a podcast, or it might be a space. I'm not entirely sure. And then, season's right around the corner, and weekly spaces and podcasts are starting back up. So, Charles, do you have anything else?
When we've done some of these over the summer, or when we were kind of finishing up last year, but the team was starting to be put together, I would categorize myself as just cautiously optimistic. Even when we got Cliff, even when we got Labaron towards the end, even when the polls or the preseason rankings were coming out about us being if not a top 3 team in the country, the number 1 team in the country. I'm at the point now that I'm ready just to let it all hang out. I think some of that caution is being burned in the past, but it's a new day at Alabama basketball. The success this program is experiencing right now, the ship seems to continue to be moving forward and continuing to obviously pick up steam. So I'm very excited, and even with still knowing that we have a daunting schedule, both in the non-conference and the SEC will be challenging as well. I think at the end of the day, we saw what last year's team did because of their continuous growth, selfless love, max effort, those 3 cornerstones that Coach Oates has brought as far as being a blue collar program. And so you just get the sense that whatever comes our way, whether positive, negative, that this team's going to continue to fight and play hard. Obviously, my hope is we've gotten past the times of, just hoping we can roll a basketball out there and show up and win a game, that this team comes locked in, and it may not always play their best game, but they'll give you max effort. And I think that's what has been really, really exciting about this program too, is just that not only is it a great product to watch, but the guys play with a lot of pride, and they represent us well as just Alabama basketball fans. So excited for these exhibitions, excited for November 4th to get here with the game against UNC Asheville, and taking off from there with some really tough competition, and seeing what this team can do as we hope that they make a deep run in March and hopefully into April again as well.
Oh, it'll be a run in April. Booking it now. But with that, I'll just say this: Shop J&J Apparel. They're, again, our apparel sponsor for the season. Subscribe to Field of 68 on YouTube. Follow them on Twitter. Follow us on Twitter. Don't follow me on Twitter. I'm just not important enough to do that. But follow our Twitter account for all of the shows and all the additional shows that we do with the Weekly Joe, and some, other stuff with like Tide Hoops history, things like that. Maybe a Mulligans and Milkshakes podcast every now and then. Just depends on how everyone's feeling. But with that, I think we're good.